Okay, so this chapter is describing the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj, and finally it comes to King Anga, who had a son named Vena, and Vena was very bad, son. He was a rogue, and so King Anga left his kingdom. So then Vena was cursed by the Brahmanas, and he died. So then I think Prithu Maharaj is Prithu Maharaj was born from the limbs of King Vena. They churned the limbs of King Vena, and then Prithu Maharaj was born. I think that's where we are. The priest engaged in the sacrifice then informed King Anga, O king, we are properly offering the clarified butter in sacrifice. But despite all our efforts, the demigods do not accept it. So the demigods are not coming to accept the sacrifice, although we are doing the yajna. The priest told King Anga, O king, we know that the paraphernalia to perform the sacrifice is well collected by you with great faith and care and is not polluted. Our chanting of the Vedic hymns is also not deficient in any way, for all the brahmanas and priests present here are expert and are executing the performances properly. So they are saying there is no discrepancy in performance of our yajna, but still the demigods are not coming. So what could be the reason? It is the practice of brahmanas conversant with the science to pronounce a Vedic mantra in the right accent. The combination of mantra and Sanskrit words must be chanted with right pronunciation, otherwise it will not be successful. That is why in this age you cannot perform yagnas, because you don't have brahmanas who can chant the mantras very nicely and properly. In this age, the brahmanas are neither well versed in the Sanskrit language nor very pure in practical life. But by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can attain the highest benefit of sacrificial performances. Even if the Hare Krishna mantra is not chanted properly, it still has so much potency that the chanter gains the effect. So even if there are differences in pronunciation of the names of the Lord, still it is very powerful. As compared to yagnas, where all the mantras have to be chanted very. So we have the story, right, of who chanted the mantra improperly?
Dushta. And
Vashta.
for Vritrasur was born.
So, what is the story you would like to describe in brief? The story of Dhritarashtra.
I think there was a sacrifice, and Indra killed his son, Tvishta's son. So he wanted to take revenge, and he wanted a son that would be enemy of Indra. So he performed a sacrifice, was chanting Sanskrit mantras, but he made a mistake in chanting one of the mantras, and he got a son who Indra would be enemy of, who would be killed by Indra.
So why did he kill Vishwarup, right? Vishwarup and Tvashta. There were two.
Yeah.
Who is the father? Who is the son?
Yeah, Vishwarup is the son who was killed by Indra, right? Because he was secretly performing sacrifice for the demons as well. Because he was from both the side, right? His mother was from the demon side of father, and like that, from the demigod side. So
Vishwarup was performing yagna, but while offering oblations in the yagna for the demigods, he was also offering oblations for the asuras, because he was of a mixed lineage. One side was demigod side, I think his father's side, and his mother's side. One side was asura side. So he was, and Indra noticed this. So Indra became very angry. Then he chopped off the heads of Vishwarup, right? So how many heads he had? There's a picture of that. So then his father became very angry. So he performed. He wanted to get a demon who would kill Indra, but somehow he chanted the mantra wrong. So he was supposed to say that. So Vishwarup was related to Asuras through his mother's side. So then Twashta chanted the mantras little bit wrong. Instead of a long A, or instead of a short A, he said a long A, the
Mhm.
mantra. And then what happened was that the demon who was supposed to kill Indra, the meaning changed. That this demon will be killed by Indra. So then, but Vritrasur was born. So in the yagnas, the mantras have to be chanted very nicely and very properly for the results to come. But Prabhupada is saying that there is no need for such technicalities in chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, even if it is chanted improperly with a slightly different pronunciation. Because Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan, so he doesn't care about, he knows, Prabhupada said one time, he knows who you are calling.
Mhm.
So, just like a baby may call the father in broken language, but the father knows, oh, the baby is calling for me, because he's not able to pronounce every word properly, so he's speaking in broken language and he may not pronounce the name of his parents and or something like that, mummy, and he may say like in a broken language, but still the mother knows, oh, he's calling for me. So in that way, chanting of Hare Krishna.
Like Krishna is so merciful, even if there are other. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says, right, even if you say Halam Riktam or Raja Mahishi, if you take the first letter of Halam, Ha, and then Riktam, Ri, then Krishna would think that, oh, he's chanting my name, Hari, and Raja Mahishi, first letter Ra, and Ma from the Mahishi. Oh, he's chanting Ram, like that also.
Yes, and haram,
Mhm.
haram also, like the Muslims say haram, 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 and then they're chanting Ram, Ram. Even Valmiki Muni chanted Ram backwards. So Krishna is very, very, he just wants some reason. Ajamil chanted Narayan. Of course, he chanted properly, but he did not even address Narayan. So he called his son in the beginning at least. so, so the chanting of the holy name, there are three things in a mantra: bija, naam, and nyas. Right. So the most important is the naam. Bija is the seed, like we have Om and Kling and in the Gayatri. But Nyas is the time when it has to be chanted, the way it has to be chanted. So in the Hare Krishna mantra, there is only Naam. It's Radha and Krishna's names. That's all. There is no Bij, there is no Nyas, there is no restriction on when you can chant, how you should chant. Like Gayatri mantra, you can only chant at certain times and you have to speak very silently, not speak loudly the mantra. So So for Hare Krishna mantra, there is no restriction. You can chant in any condition. So this is the boon we have knowing our fallen condition in Kali Yuga. The process is also made very simple. Just chanting the holy name. Okay. Na vidameha devanam helanam vayam anvapi yanna grinanti bhagan swan ye deva karma sakshina. So, dear king, we do not find any reason that the demigods should feel insulted or neglected in any way. But still, the demigods who are witness for the sacrifice do not accept their shares. We do not know why this is so. So, we are not understanding why the demigods are not accepting their offering in the yagna. Although we are doing everything perfectly, then why the demigods are. It is indicated herein that if there is negligence on the part of the priest, the demigods do not accept their share in the sacrifices. Similarly, in devotional service, there are offenses known as seva aparad. Those who are engaged in worshipping deity, Radha and Krishna in the temple, should avoid such offenses in service. The offenses in service are described in the Nectar of Devotion. If you simply make a show of offering services to the deity but do not care for the seva aparad, certainly the Radha Krishna deity will not accept offerings from such non devotees. Devotees engaged in temple worship should not therefore manufacture their own methods but should strictly follow the regulative principles of cleanliness, and then offerings will be accepted. So there are many rules and regulations for deity worship. Prabhupada is saying we should follow those rules and regulations, and especially Radha Krishna worship is a little bit more elevated and stricter than Gaur-Nitai worship. So otherwise, if the offenses are made, then Radha Krishna may not accept our offering. So cleanliness and punctuality, that also we had the class on deity worship. He was saying that we cannot see, we have to stick to the time. So there is punctuality, offerings, pratah offering or Bali offering, in the morning Mangalarti offering, then there is breakfast offering, then lunch offering. It has to be made and offered on certain times. So deity worship automatically makes you like little disciplined in the temple, at least. In the home, yeah, it's a little different, but okay.
Yeah, like Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was saying that all our six Goswamis were worshipping the deities also. But if you see their standard of worship, I mean, you see Madan Mohan deity and how Sanatan Goswami, whatever he was getting from Bhiksha, he would offer, and there would not be even salt. So it depends also, Krishna is Bhava Grahi Janardhan, right? So he's looking our intention, not that if we have to offer elaborate worship and so many things.
Yeah, correct. And they are like Sanatan Goswami, and they are like so exalted, right? I mean, they can Vamshidas Babaji, they were chastising the deities also. So yes, but yes, Krishna is Baba Janardhan, so he will overlook some faults if there are. But from our side, we should try our best, like at least in the temple, because that's Prabhupada is saying there are seva aparadhs. So I don't know. There is mention in the Nectar of Devotion. There are how many offenses are there in deity worship?
Details.
We can look at it. He's saying in Nectar of Devotion there are
Yeah, it's chapter 8.
32 types of seva aparadha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are quarreling before the deity, but these are not like. Okay, so chapter 8, Nectar of Devotion. 64, it says here. List of 64.
Yeah, 32 and 32. Because one is coming from Varaha Puran.
Yeah, these are more like what you do in front of the deity. It says not to observe, to avoid offering obeisances in front of the deity, to offer obeisances with one hand, to spread one's leg before the deity, to sit before the deity while holding one's ankles with one hand, to lie down before the deity, to eat before the deity, to speak lies before the deity, to address someone loudly before the deity, to talk nonsense before the deity, to argue before the deity, to chastise someone before the deity, to show someone favor before the deity, to use harsh words.
Prabhu, Prabhuji, I just want to clarify that what you mentioned just that not to lie before deity and not to speak nonsense to deity. I mean, if you believe, because you always spread that Krishna is in our heart, so we should not. We should be honest with God always, not even in front of deity, always. If you believe that we want Krishna is in our heart, not nonsense. That's why it says that not to speak nonsense always. Just use your tongue only if it is necessary, or in the name of Hari.
Yeah, that is what is that called? To speak nonsense and
Prajalpa.
prajalpa. Yeah, prajalpa
Japa.
is called prajalpa. So that is there. Atyahara prayasasya
Yeah.
prajalpa niyama.
Not only in front of deity, but always, if you
Yeah,
believe.
correct.
But the 13th one, it's saying to cry before the deity is an offense.
Yeah, it's cry means for some material reasons, I think. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Um, I don't know if it's like if you lost your job and you come and cry before, but that should be okay, right? Because where shall the devotee go if he has some, he's not a pure devotee, but he has some material loss or something like that. And so where would he go? We would think like that, but I don't know what that means to cry before the deity. Yeah, let's see here. To cry before the deity, to argue before the deity, to chastise someone before the deity. Does Prabhupada give any explanation on this
No,
offense?
in Nectar Devotion also it says one should not cry or howl before the deity.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see here. Offenses. This crying referred. Yeah, there's some discussion about this crying.
We can next time ask this question to that group class on Fridays.
Every Friday there is class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for a
So we
few
are
weeks,
supposed.
7 weeks or so.
Okay.
And discuss here as well, because I'm also surprised that why we can cry in front of DT.
So somebody is saying here, I don't know. So what is this here? It is also an offense. Okay. It is stated that it's an offense to cry, but I do not understand why the reasons why this is an offense. The crying referred to is crying in the mode of ignorance due to pain without reference to the deity. Like if the deities are giving darshan and two children start quarreling and start crying, that crying would be offense. Crying out of pain in heart is considered in the mode of ignorance, and it creates a negative atmosphere and diverts the attention of people away from the deities. I mean, crying means crying loudly or just having tears in the eyes, so I don't know. But crying in reference to the deities out of devotion is considered highest worship. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would profusely cry in separation in front of Lord Jagannath. Srila Prabhupada would also cry tears, sometimes looking at the deities of Krishna Balram, just being conquered by their beauty. Such crying, it is ecstasy. Okay, so So, like somebody died in your home, and then you come to the temple and you cry very loudly, maybe that, maybe. But if you're crying just like silently, maybe that's okay. But so that maybe, like, I don't know. So, but yeah, where, material world makes you cry also, this is the, so there is a lot of distress. So, where will the devotees go if they have feelings, right? They will go to
Um,
devotees.
we always say that Krishna is our father, super father. So if anyone in distress cries in front of father, what's wrong with that?
And also it says one should not talk with others before the deity. I mean, how can we avoid this?
One should not.
One should not talk with others before the deity.
I mean, non-devotional talk, I think maybe it is referring to. If it is related to some devotional service, that. But yeah, and generally we start talking right before the deity, that how is your job going and something like that. We say, I mean, that's okay at some level, but yeah, the Lord is the most important. Like if some most important person is standing, and then you start talking about your own, life and okay, what happened? Did your son get education in that college, and what happened? And like so, maybe.
And also one should not praise anyone before the deity, but we can praise the devotee, right?
Yeah, because we are like bowing down to Srila Prabhupada in front of the deity when the curtains are open, right? So sometimes the worship is also being done. So, yeah, in the class also, some the deity curtains are open, and sometimes we praise the devotees. So it's okay, I think. Yeah. Okay. That's why I don't know how these things can be applied in a very what exactly it means. And but the one thing is that the Lord is there, standing there. He's the supreme personality of God. It's very important. So when some important person is there, then the most important person, then we have to be careful in what we speak, and we can go outside a little bit in the another room and talk if we have to talk. So, like if there is some just social interaction, then that's how it's ideally it should be. We cannot use our cell phone and talk unless it's maybe devotional talk, but deities are there, and then we talking on about some other thing on the cell phone, non-devotional, then maybe it is. Yeah, did you get the tickets to the movie, something like that? Are we going to go in the evening? We are going to go to the restaurant or something like that, and some talk like that. If it's going on, then it's offensive. But if you're saying, yeah, let's go out for the book distribution, do you have the books? Where shall we meet? Maybe that is okay. If you're talking to devotees about devotional service. But
And Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Devotion, even when a person becomes an offender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, means the deity, he can still be delivered by simply taking shelter of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna mantra. It's beneficial for eradicating all sins. But if one becomes an offender to the holy names of the Lord, then there is no chance of being delivered. So the offenses to the holy name are considered the most grievous offenses, because all these deity offenses, they can be eradicated by chanting the holy name.
yeah, okay. So the next verse we will read. Maitre Vacha Ango Dvija Vacha Shrutva Yajamana Sudurma Manaha Tad Prashtum Vyasrijad Vacham Dasyam Stad Anugnaya. Maitreya explained that King Anga, after hearing the statements of the priest, was greatly aggrieved because the demigods are not accepting the sacrifice. And the Brahmanas are saying to King Anga that this is what is happening. So Anga is very disturbed. At that time, he took permissions from the priest to break his silence and inquired from all the priests who were present in the sacrificial arena. So Anga started speaking to the priest. King Anga addressed the priestly order. My dear priests, kindly tell me what offense I have committed. Although invited, the demigods are neither taking part in the sacrifice nor accepting their shares. Something is wrong that the demigods are not coming. Please tell me what I am doing wrong. The head priest said, O king, in this life we do not find any sinful activity, even within your mind. So you are not in the least offensive. But we can see that in your previous life you performed sinful activities, due to which, in spite of your having all qualifications, you have no son. The purpose of marrying is to beget a son, because a son is necessary to deliver his father and forefathers from any hellish conditional life in which they may be. So, Putra. Chanakya Pandit therefore says, Putra hinam griham shunyam. Without a son, married life is simply abominable. King Anga was a very pious king in this life, but because of his previous sinful activity, he could not get a son. It is concluded, therefore, that if a person does not get a son, it is due to his past sinful life. Okay, so. So
But
then,
it is also said that, like,
uh,
go ahead, Puruji.
no, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I just say that, but it is also said that right in the 11th canto that those who have given up all the duties and taking shelter of lotus feet of Mukunda, and it's not indebted to any great sages or living beings or any forefathers who have passed away.
Devarshi
So,
Putapta, yeah.
yeah, they were Siputapta and Ram Pitranam. Nakin Karunayam, Vineet Rajan, Sarvatmanaye Sharanam Gato Mukundam Pritya Kritam.
Also, I think there is a pastime of someone who accepted Krishna as their son, and Krishna came to give them oblations, right? Who's that? It's a pastime.
That was in Chaitanya Leela. There was one devotee whose her last rites then something. Who was that saying?
Ghosh.
Yeah.
And also Prahlad Maharaj was a great example because none of his ancestors were asuras, demon, but he was born as a Haribhakt. And it says that when somebody chants as a great devotee, this whole family gets moksha because of his pious activities. So it is not forefathers, what forefathers did that is more important. More important is what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that person who, I'm thinking, who's that, right? There was some.
Okay,
Was it?
Bal Govind Prabhu gave this pastime, right? Okay, well, anyways, I can find it, and so I mean, it says here we need a son for someone to be delivered, but not necessary.
For those who are devotees of Krishna and they don't have anything, Krishna personally comes to deliver them. So that's
And
that.
one can serve Krishna as a son also, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, Krishna has to liberate all jivas. It's
But
not like, yeah, go ahead, Lance.
And the other thing is, if your son is not like proper, then you also get the reaction. If
Prabhuji,
they're
I
not
have a
giving.
question, but there are many people, maybe here, maybe in India, because I saw while going to Vrindavan in the train, one Marwari family, the couple were carrying Bal Gopal, Kanha, and he was keeping anywhere on the seat. He was saying that he was our son, but he was keeping not with uttermost, utter reverence.
Respect.
That they should not keep. I didn't tell them anything, but I thought that this is not good because you cannot keep Krishna anywhere, thinking he's your son. Is that right? He was keeping on the seat, anywhere, not with proper. They were
Yeah.
carrying deity of Balgopal.
So it depends. Sometimes, the
No, but
mood.
there was no asan. When we carry, it's like I don't carry if I travel long distance, but if I drive, go somewhere in, there is the ashan. In the ashan, there is properly you should carry because you cannot keep Bhagavan at anywhere on the railway, seat where you are keeping your feet. I didn't tell them, but I thought this is not bhakti. Krishna can be your child, but there should be bhakti also.
Yeah, correct. So,
So I found the pastime pasted it. It's Govind Ghosh.
Govind Ghosh, yes. Okay, so where is that? Let's see. Want to read the pastime?
I can read. You want to show your screen?
Yeah, on this Facebook, right?
Yeah. Okay. So born in a Kaistha family, Govind Ghosh was one of the three brothers, Govind, Vasudev, and Madhav, who were all dear associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Being a Sakhi named Kalavati in Golok Vrindavan, who beautifully sings songs composed by Srimati Vishakha Sakhi, Govind Ghosh in Mahaprabhu's Leela as well was a celebrated singer with an exquisitely beautiful voice. He, along with his brothers, was present in the kirtans of Srivasangan in the kirtan party which went to the Qazi's house, in the kirtans at Raghav Pandit's house, and in the fourth Sankirtan party during Rath Yatra, the main dancer of which was Vakreshwar Pandit. He was also present in the party which accompanied Mahaprabhu on his journey to Vrindavan. Once during the travel, Mahaprabhu wanted some haritaki, a mouth freshener, after his lunch. Govind immediately gave one haritaki to Mahaprabhu. Knowing that he sometimes saved some haritaki for later, Mahaprabhu got upset and said that he should remain at that place and establish a deity and worship him. This was done by the Lord just to instruct the sadhakas that one should not hoard anything, having faith that Krishna will provide for all our necessities. So I think here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling him to be married, right? Stay in that place, get married, and worship the deity. Although greatly distressed, Govinda followed the instructions of the Lord and stayed at Agradweep. There he established the deity of Gopinath in accordance with Mahaprabhu's directions. He then got married and had a son, while the whole time affectionately serving Gopinath along with his whole family. However, by the Lord's will, his wife and son soon passed away, and he felt great distress upon their leaving. Due to his grief, he did not worship Gopinath for a few days. One day Gopinath said to him that it is not fair that due to separation from one son, you make the other son starve to death. Hearing this, Govinda told Gopinath that he had hoped that his son would perform his last rites upon his departure from this world. Gopinath then reassured him that he would himself perform the last rites for Govinda forever, and that he should not worry about it and give him something to eat as he was hungry. Govind Ghosh felt great bliss in his heart and immediately got up to prepare something to eat for the Lord. In due course of time, when Govind Ghosh left this world on this auspicious day, after instructing the devotees to not burn his body, but rather bury him near Dola Prangam. Gopinath took kosha grass in his fingers and performed the last rites for his dear devotee. Even today, every day on this day, Gopinath in Agradweep holds kusha grass in his fingers in order to perform the Shraddh ceremony for Sri Govind Ghosh. On this auspicious day, we pray that Govind Ghosh Prabhu may bless us with the service to the lotus feet of Sri Gopinath and his dear beloved Srimati Radhika.
Wow, wow, how great devotee he was.
Yeah, so ye yatha ma prapadente, as Krishna says. As you surrender, I will reciprocate. So if we see him as a son or a husband or a beloved, he will reciprocate like that. We have to have faith.
And also, in time of our great distress, we should not ignore offering. That's why Gopinath is teaching us. I'm hungry.
Correct.
Give me some food. Wow,
Correct.
great.
Okay. So, next verse we'll read. O king, we wish all good fortune for you. You have no son, but if you pray at once to the Supreme Lord and ask for a son, and if you execute the sacrifice for that purpose, the enjoyer of the sacrifice, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will fulfill your desire. So they are saying the demigods are not coming. Not that you are sinful in this life, but in your past life you have performed some sinful activities and you are not having a son. So you should pray to the Supreme Lord to get a son, and you should execute the sacrifice for this purpose. Okay, when Hari, the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices, is invited to fulfill your desire for a son, all the demigods will come with him and take shares in their sacrifice. So Krishna can be the son, Krishna can be the friend. We have also that story, Gaur Govind Maharaj says how one little boy, right, his teacher is very poor and he goes through the forest. Every day he has to go through the forest, and we can read that story, it's nice. Right? And remember that story, anybody? And the teacher one day says, now you have to bring
Get
something.
Yeah, something.
He goes to his mom, and his mom says, "We don't have anything. Go to God and ask." He gave him a pot or something, right? And that pot, as ever, it never becomes empty.
Yeah.
I
So
think
he calls.
he said that you go to the Dada in Bengali called as a brother Dada, right? So she said that, I heard this story that at the last day of that his school, um, like a Guru Dakshina, right? You have to give something to the teacher, and everybody has to bring something from the home, and they are poor, so that boy told to his mother that I have to bring something there. So she said that you have to go to the forest and call, uh, what's the name, like you go and call Dada, you give me something uh, in this, and I have to bring it. So every day he go, and like 1 or 2 or 3 days I think, and then I think someday Krishna came and he gave him a pot of yogurt and says that, okay, you go and you know it was like a small, so then he bring that, he took that pot of yogurt and go to the school, and the teacher says that it just, there's many students and many people, but you have just bought very little. And the teacher throw that pot, and but still they notice that the pot is never kind of empty, it's always full. So that is that the story, right?
Yeah. So Gaur Govind Maharaj says this is lecture he gave in 1991 in Michigan. So he describes this story. He says simplicity, how he had faith and he was not crooked like that. A mother has a 6 or 7 year old son. She wanted to admit him into primary school so that he could get some education. But the school was a little far away, half a mile from their house. So she told the boy that he should go every day to school in the morning. So the boy started going. On the path to school, he had to pass through a jungle where there were some ferocious animals, tigers and snakes. Being a small child, he was afraid. He came to his mother and said, "Oh, mother, when I was going through that jungle on the way to school, I was very afraid. So many ferocious animals are there. I can't go anymore." His mother said, "Why are you afraid? Don't you know that your friend Gopal is there? Just call your friend. He will help you. You need not be afraid." "Oh, my friend is there?" "Yes. When you feel afraid, you should call out, 'Oh, my friend Gopal, I am in a fearful situation. Where are you? Please come.' You should say like that." The child followed her instruction. When he was passing through the jungle and he felt afraid, he called out, "Friend Gopal, my brother Gopal, where are you? I am in a fearful situation. Please come, help me." Gopal appeared before him. "Yes, I am here. Why are you afraid?" "I have to go through the jungle to go to school and it is full of ferocious animals." "All right, don't fear. Come with me." Every day Gopal was helping him. Okay. So for this festival, so there was some, it's not, they were doing some Ganesh Puja and Saraswati Puja to give students. For these festivals in the school, they were doing some, the teacher will collect some fees from the students. One day at school, the teacher announced that they were going to have such a festival and that the students should all pay some fee. But the boy and his mother were very poor. There was nobody in the family, only the mother and the son, and they had no money. There may be a little variation in the story. The teacher told him, "You are poor, you don't have enough money, but you should at least bring 50 paisa, half of a rupee." The child returned home and told his mother that the teacher had said that he had to pay 50 paisa for the festival. But they had nothing, not even a single paisa. Mother said, "Tell the teacher that we have no money, we are very poor, but we will bring milk." The child said, "Who will give us milk?" "Oh, your friend Gopal will give us milk. He tends cows. He can supply as much milk as your teacher wants." "Yes, you tell Gopal." So that day in the forest he called out to his friend, "Oh Gopal, where are you?" "I am here." Gopal appeared. "What do you need?" "My teacher has said that I have to pay 50 paisa, but we have no money. My mother said to ask you to give us some milk because they need milk for the festival. So, so you must supply as much milk as they need." "Oh yes, I must supply. I am always here to help you." Later on the puja day, when he was passing through the jungle, he called his friend. "Gopal, today is the day. Please come." Gopal came with a small earthen pot filled with milk. "All right, take this milk. Give it to your teacher. The pot will give as much milk as they want. It will never be empty." The boy took it and gave it to the teacher. Seeing the small pot, the teacher said, "Oh, this is just a small amount of milk. We need a large amount, 10 buckets of milk. You have only brought a small pot." "No, no, no, it will never be empty. You bring 10 buckets and pour this pot out." So the little child is saying what Gopal told him. All 10 buckets will be filled. The teacher did so, and amazingly, 10 buckets were filled. Then the teacher asked, "Where did you get such a pot?" "My friend Gopal gave it to me." "Your friend Gopal? Who is he?" "Oh, he stays in the jungle. Every time I need, I call him. My mother told me that whenever I am in a fearful situation, I should call out, 'Gopal, Gopal, oh brother, oh my friend Gopal.' Then he appears. He helps me, protects me, and leads me to school." He gave this pot of milk. He says that he is a friend to one and all. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, I am the only well-wishing friend of all living entities." He says he is not only my friend, he is a friend to one and all. If one calls, he is there, ready to help in time of danger, in time of need, in time of calamities. Of course, it's always calamity here in the material world. Padam, padam. Why doesn't Gopal come to you? Such a simple child. So now Maharaj is saying, why doesn't Gopal come to you? Such a simple child gets help from Krishna, but you are worrying, he is worrying, she is worrying. What shall I do? What shall I do? I need so much money. How can I do it? I cannot collect. I have to do this thing. I have to do that thing. I have so many problems, so many hindrances, so many obstacles. Why don't you ask Gopal? Gopal is ready to help you, but you are not asking him. If you're asking, then why Gopal is not coming? You say, yes, yes, I am asking. Oh Krishna, please help me. But Krishna is not coming and helping me. Gopal immediately appeared before that small child. Why can't you get Gopal's help? Gaur Govind Maharaj, he'll say how he speaks very strongly. Why doesn't Gopal come to you? What is the difficulty? What is the reason? It's because you have no faith in Gopal, no faith in Krishna. It's a question of faith. That small child had strong faith. As soon as his mother told him, he put strong, unflinching faith in her words and he got Krishna. But you do not have faith. Now in America, many people have lost faith. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Ado Shraddha, the first thing is unflinching faith. Similarly, Krishna says in Gita, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tat parama samyetendriya jnanam labdva param shantim achirena adhikachati. This is 439. Let's see what is that verse. Just 1 minute. श्रद्धावान लभते ज्ञानम तत्परः संयेतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानम लब्ध्वा पराम शांतिम achirena. Achirena means not after long. Adhikachati. This is the verse. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace, Param Shanti. Prabhupada talks about faith. Such knowledge in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by a faithful person who firmly believes in Krishna. One is called a faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. This faith is attained. So how we get that faith? That simply by Krishna consciousness, I will attain the highest. This faith is attained by discharge of devotional service and by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So chanting Hare Krishna also builds our faith. And we come to the point where that we start thinking that only Krishna consciousness will give me the highest perfection. Simply if I act for Krishna, the highest perfection, which cleanses one's heart of all material dirt. Over and above this, one should control the senses. And the senses are controlled because you are engaged in Krishna's service. So a person who is faithful to Krishna and who controls the senses can easily attain perfection in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness without delay. Okay, so what do we mean by Shraddha? Rupa Goswami says the first thing is Shraddha. Following that comes other things. Shraddha means strong, unflinching faith. Bhajate maam dridha vritaha. Those who have faith, they do bhajan with determination. Strong faith in what? Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya. Faith in what Sadhu says, what Guru says, what Shastra says, what Krishna says. You should put strong, unflinching faith in what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said, Vishwas mile Krishna. One has faith and he can easily obtain Krishna, and arguments or doubts stay far away. Why depressed and disappointed? If you have strong faith, you will get Krishna. You have faith, but it is not strong. It is soft faith. At any time it can break and you feel yourself disappointed, depressed. Why such feelings? Why disappointed? Why depressed? Because you do not have strong faith in Krishna. You have no faith in Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya. You have lost faith, therefore you feel disappointed and depressed. Faith is the most important thing. It has been stressed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and all of our acharyas. And of course, faith is also enhanced by what? One word.
Association.
By?
Association.
Association, correct. And experience. Yeah, so if we have some experience how, we may not have seen Krishna directly, but how Krishna takes care of us and, how he's creating a situation where, we can chant Hare Krishna, we can get association. So like that also builds faith. So experience, if we chant Hare Krishna and we feel very nice, then that's also builds that experience, builds that Yeah, I should chant Hare Krishna more. This is so nice. So, yeah, faith comes also from association, those who have faith, right? So he says also many things here. Loudly, Mahaprabhu said the same thing. Uchcha Sankirtana Kori Shraddhara Prachar. Loudly chant the holy name and preach with faith. I think that same instruction Prabhupada gave to chant Hare Krishna loudly and preach. He told Dhruva Maharaj. Like that. So, of course, it's for everybody. It's not for anybody else. But Indradumna Swami remembers Srila Prabhupada. Here he says like that. This is memories. I have the instructions from Srila Prabhupada. He looked at me and said, my instruction is to you is to preach boldly and have faith in the holy names. Krishna will give you all facility. So of course it's for us also. When my Guru Maharaj came to the West, what did he have with him? Only strong faith. Means he's talking about Prabhupada. Only strong faith in Krishna, strong faith in the words of his Guru, strong faith in the holy name. Yet nothing else. It is a question of strong faith in Gopal. But people are lacking faith. You should develop strong faith. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kohe Sudhir Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Shraddha is defined as confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendent loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. So, when we are doing some devotional service, we should think, yeah, this is the best thing, with my life. This is so wonderful, like that. And then that will give us more faith in that, and we'll do it very nicely, the chanting. Such faith is favorable to discharge of devotional service. Chant loudly. If you develop Krishna Bhakti, all of your duties and obligations are finished. You are thinking, this is my duty, my responsibility to look after the maintenance of my family, my wife, my children. But it is said, Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. All of your work is finished. Everyone says this, but they are only speaking from the lips. In their heart, 99.9% people have no faith. Therefore, Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said, Uchcha Sankirtane Kari Shraddhara Prachar. Chant loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Inculcate Shraddha, faith unto those people who have not developed Shraddha. My Guru Maharaj did that. When he first arrived here, he came only with a pair of kartals. He simply went to a park and chanted Hare Krishna. The hippies were rolling on the ground, half naked, taking strong drugs like LSD and marijuana, and becoming mad. My Guru Maharaj just played kartal and chanted, and thereby he inculcated Shraddha in them. So by chanting Hare Krishna, we benefit ourselves and we inculcate Shraddha in others. This is how it is. Sadhu is able to inculcate Shraddha even into them. First inculcate Shraddha into them. Then when they are Shraddhavan, when they develop Shraddha, strong faith in holy name, strong faith in Krishna, and Sadhu, Shastra, Guru Vakya, then they are eligible to be initiated. There is the offense to the holy name known as Shraddha Hina Jane Nama Upadesh. That is to instruct a faithless person about the glory. Shraddha Hin Jane Nama Upadesh. This is the Sanskrit version of this, the ninth offense, right? To instruct a faithless person. So Agare Shraddha, first one must have Shraddha. How one can develop Shraddha? That is another question. For this reason, we perform loud Sankirtan. Doing so, you can develop Shraddha. Don't feel depressed or disappointed. Mahaprabhu is there, Krishna is there, Srila Prabhupada is there. Chant loudly and feel the atmosphere with transcendental sound vibration. You should have full faith in the holy name, in Gopal, in Krishna, in Mahaprabhu. Don't feel depressed at any time under any circumstances. There is no question of pessimism in Mahaprabhu's movement. There is all optimism. I have seen during my tour that now this pessimism is widespread amongst the devotees in America. Seeing that, I feel very sorry. I'm crying in my heart. What has happened? My Guru Maharaj came here first. He sowed the seed here. Now what has happened? They've lost faith. Such a sorry state of affairs. Okay, he cried out. So this boy cried out, "Oh Gopal, where are you? My mother has said to call you." And immediately Gopal appeared. The determination of Dhruva Maharaj was only a child, 5-year-old boy. When he inquired from his mother Suniti, she told him, Narayan is there. If you get the mercy of Lord Narayan, then all of your desires will be fulfilled. Dhruva said, yes, Lord Narayan, where is he? Suniti said, I have heard that saints and sages go to the forest to get him. Dhruva said, oh, I must go and get him. He was only a 5-year-old boy, but he had such determination. Later, Narad Muni told him, the forest is a very dangerous place. There are many fearful, ferocious animals here, tigers, lions, and snakes. You are a small boy, what can you do here? Dhruva said, no, my mother said that Narayan is there. I must go and find him. Dhruva would not hear any dissuasion. He was so strong and determined. Therefore, his name is Dhruva. Dhruva means determined. His determination never shakes. Rupa Goswami therefore says in Updeshamrita, Utsaha Nishya Dhairyat Tat Karma Tavardhana. Okay. So, yes, I am determined to achieve this thing. I must achieve it. Dhruva had that kind of determination, but also Dhairya. You must have patience. Don't lose patience. This strong determination and strong faith is most important. Nothing is impossible. Krishna is always there to help you. He is there in your heart. He will test how strong your faith is in him. Your faith is shaking, it is not strong. How determined are you? Krishna creates everything. His will is supreme. By his mere desire, creation, maintenance, and destruction takes place. We are completely dependent on his will. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tumara ichhaya achi nirbhaya koriya. I am completely dependent on your will. Tumara ichhaya achi nirbhar. Nirbhar means dependent. Korea. Oh Krishna. So Krishna says, okay, I will test your faith to see if you are really completely dependent on my will. But you are lacking faith, and Krishna knows, oh, he has no faith. He only speaks from the lips. In his heart, he has no faith. Everyone takes place according to the will. Everything takes place according to the will of Krishna. If he doesn't will, a blade of grass will not shake. So it is a question of faith. But why do we lack faith? Dhruva Maharaj immediately put strong faith. He was not afraid of any situation. Where is that Narayan? Where is Narayan? The example is also there in the story about the young boy and Gopal. But we can't put faith. What is the reason? Why are these small children able to have faith, but adults cannot? It is because you are crooked and they are simple. The child is very simple. But as soon as he grows up and associates with adults, those who are very crooked, he develops crookedness. Otherwise, in the beginning, a child is very simple. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. All our acharyas have said this. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami stresses on this. Saralta hi Vaishnavata. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. Real Vaishnavas are as simple as a child. There is no question of crookedness, duplicity, or pretentiousness in them. But our heart is full of these things. We are not at all simple-hearted persons. We are very crooked. Duplicity, crookedness, and pretentiousness are in you. But Krishna is in your heart. He knows what is in you. You cannot cheat him. Therefore, we say that Guru, Sadhu, Guru, Mahajan are Patit Pavan, not Kapati Pavan. They are the saviors of the fallen, not saviors of crooked. Some persons say, shall I just have blind faith? Shall I not think anything? Shall I not apply my intelligence, my deliberation? Should I just put blind faith in whatever Sadhu and Shastra say? They say we have our own intelligence. We must think very seriously before we can accept. How can you deliberate on what Krishna says, what Shastra says, what the Mahajan says? They have no defects. You are a conditioned soul with 4 defects. Okay, like that. So, let's go on. Okay. Okay, what's the time? It's 8 to 7. So we can stop here. We can chant a little bit. I have to chant some Hare Krishna. So we'll
Hare
stop.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.